Welcome to this Posse training video. In this video, we are going to cover a few of the basics of logging into Posse Web. Those include logging into Posse Web itself, looking at a business menu and discussing what business menus are, changing our password, accessing the general help file, and then logging out of Posse Web. So let's get started. Now, the first thing that you're going to see after you pull Posse Web up from your desktop link is this login screen. From here, you'll have the opportunity to enter your username and password. And this is the same username and password that you'll use anywhere else in Posse. For the purpose of this video, we have a brand new user named Din Dejarin. So I'm going to enter his username here at the top. And then I have two options. I can either use the mouse to select the password field or use the tab key. Once I've entered my username and password, I can simply select the log on button or just press enter to log in. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice the first time that you log into Posse Web is this blank screen. Don't worry, this is expected. Simply move your cursor to the top middle where there is this arrow next to a label named Business Menu. And for this video, we're going to select Building Division as our starting point. Selecting the top option here will pull up a brand new screen known as the Building Business menu. Now this is a menu that's intended to provide everyone within the building division and related branches access to every type of permit, job, or object that they may need to use for their everyday business. Now you'll notice there are a few different categories of items within the business menu. At the top here, we'll see that we have searches, which we will cover in much more detail in a later video. We have maps, reports, and inspections. If you ever need to look at the map, that can be done from that link here. The reports link will take us to any management style reports that may need to be run. And then we have the inspection manager, which will have its own training video. Lastly is this create section down here at the bottom. This is where you're going to create any brand new jobs, documents, or other objects within the system. Now, one of the things you're also going to notice is that a number of these links are grayed out and unclickable. Don't worry, this is expected. This is just simply based on the permissions of the user that I am logged in as. Posse Web will simply not allow me to click anything that I do not have permissions to use. So that's how the business menu works. But now I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about changing our password within Posse Web. To do this, we'll simply click our name in the top right corner of Posse Web, which will give us a list of options for our user. And we'll select a third option, which is Change Password. This will open a simple window where we can enter our current password and then the password we would like to change it to. I'll enter my current password, and then I will type out the new password in both the new and the re-enter password fields. Again, with any fields in Posse Web, you can use the tab key to select the next field in a form to quickly enter data, or you can just proceed by clicking into the next field. Once I've typed both passwords correctly, I can either click save or just hit enter. I'll just hit enter here. The next thing I want to show you is how to access the general help file for Posse Web. To do this, simply move your cursor to the far top right corner of Posse Web where it says Help, and select the first option, which is General Help. Now the first thing you're going to notice is that this pulls up a help file within a new tab in Chrome. So we still have our building menu on our first tab there, and then the Posse Winchester tab has opened as a second tab. This is so that we don't ever lose our spot when looking at the help file. On this new tab, what we're going to see is a lot of material that discusses the various layouts and functionalities that you'll find within Posse Web. Now, this is all general help, so none of this is specific to how you do your job, but it will give you some basic details on how things work, where you could find things, and how to interact with Posse Web effectively. For example, the Notes Edit pane tab describes all of the details on how to edit notes within Posse, which is something that's used across the board on a lot of different jobs, permits, or objects that you might be working with. So this just has a lot of information on how to enter things, how to lock your notes, how to use clauses. So this is a really great reference tool in case you forget how to use something or just want to know a little more about how to use Posse Web. Now, the last thing that I want to show you in regards to the Posse General Help is the search functionality that you can use. You can just select the search link right here at the top next to Contents. This will pull up a keyword search which you can use to find anything within the Posse help file. We can test this by entering something we might want to know more about. In this case, let's look for keyboard shortcuts. I'll just type it out through here, press the submit button or just press enter, and it will show results down at the bottom. By clicking the link on the first option here, which says keyboard shortcuts, it will navigate me directly to the keyboard shortcuts page. And now I can reference any of the information provided here and learn more about keyboard shortcuts. Once you're done looking at the material, you can go back to the original tab that we started with by clicking the tab at the top left corner of Posse. And that takes us right back to the building menu that we were on. And of course, we can see that the Posse help file is still open in the second tab. So we can quickly jump back and forth by clicking on those tabs to continually reference the help file while we're working in Posse. So that's how you use the Posse help file. It's a really handy tool for learning more about Posse, especially if you're new to the system. Now, the final thing that I want to show you guys today is how to log out of Posse. And this is really simple. Just click your name at the top right corner of Posse to produce the user options dropdown once again. And this time at the dropdown, you're going to select the log off option, which is the last option in the list. Selecting that will log you out of Posse and take you right back to the login screen, where it will still default to your name in case you want to log in again. Or somebody else can replace that and log in with their own credentials. Anyway, that about does it for this Posse training video. Now we covered a lot of material, so let's recap a little bit. We started off talking about logging in and how to use your password to log into Posse Web. Then we discussed how to use the business menu and what things are contained within the business menu. We covered how you reset your password if you'd like to change it. And then we also looked on how to use the Posse General Help file, as well as how you log out of Posse Web. So that's all we have for this video. I hope this was helpful for you. And of course, there will be much more information provided in further videos.